ودانية عليهم ظلالها وذللت قطوفها تذليلا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد خاتم المرسلين والمبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. This video is to explain the Quran ayahs in English, not to very much level of detail or anything, just to translate some of the words from Arabic Quran to English, because I have noticed that there are many of our brothers and sisters, Muslims brothers and sisters, who read the Quran and maybe they will read it very well with tajweed and everything, but they don't fully understand the meaning. So this is just to try and help those brothers and sisters understand what they are reading in Quran. I started this series with al-Fatiha. There are also three or some videos where I explained some important Arabic grammar that would help us in our journey as we are reading the Quran, inshallah. Also, I put them in the description. These videos are about ways to try and identify the word that you are reading, whether it's a noun or verb or something like that. So we'll start, inshallah, Surat-ul-Ikhlas. We are beginning from the end of the Mus'haf, because these surahs are the surahs where most of Muslims read in their day-to-day salah. We'll start, inshallah, every lesson will be a one page, so that maybe you can start now reading those surahs in your prayer, in your salat, and understand what you are reading, inshallah. So we'll start with Surat-ul-Ikhlas, which is basically the purity of faith. It has great meanings. It basically refutes Trinity, it refutes idolatry, atheism, polytheism, and it basically calls for the full devotion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the true God. So we'll start, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the first ayah, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. قُلْ is a verb in imperative form. Again, this has been explained previously in the previous videos, where, as I said, you will find the link in the description. So قُل is basically word mean say. It's an order, it's imperative form, which is an order or command form of the verb. Saying قُل, which is basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying to the Prophet, peace be upon him, say to those others, like who don't have the right set of beliefs, as we said before, whether it is a Trinity or atheism or polytheism or anything like that. So قُل, say, هو الله أحد, he is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, هو, he is Allah. أحد, أحد means indivisible. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not just one, like, because we could have one, but it could be divided. It is something that is one, and it is not, like, division is not applicable to it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot be divided to parts. He's not made of parts. He's not a body. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ahad. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. The second ayah, Allahu Samad. Allah is, everybody knows Allah, so I don't think I need to explain this. As-Samad. As-Samad means sustainer, who is needed by everybody. So he is the one that sustains everybody else, and everybody needs him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu Samad, and he doesn't need anybody or anyone. And As-Samad is a noun. How do we know that? Because it has alif wa lam at the start. Al. Okay, so there is an alif here, you can see, and then lam, the beginning of the surah, or in the word. Again, how to identify the nouns from the verbs and all these things has been explained in the previous videos. Please refer to them if you haven't already. And although there is a lam here after the alif, but we do not pronounce the lam. We go directly to the sad. We say Allahu Samad. So the alif is alif of what we call Hamzat Wasl. Hamza for joining words. So if you are starting the word as-samad, you say it as you have noted, as-samad, I pronounce the hamza, as-samad. But if I am continuing Allahu Samad like that, it drops. So it is a hamzat wasl, meaning in wasl, it drops. You don't pronounce it. So if I'm saying Allahu Samad, I go directly to the sad. So the hamza is not there. You might ask, so what about the lam? There is a lam here. The lam, sometimes we pronounce it, sometimes we don't. It depends what is the letter after it. Now, I don't want this to turn into a Arabic grammar or nahu lesson or tajweed, because that is not the purpose of this lesson. But you don't need to memorize it. As you are reading, if you don't find there is anything on top of the lam, like there is no haraka, there is no sukun, nothing on it, then do not pronounce it. And also another indication, you will find the letter next to it has, you will find that it has shadda. The shadda is that shape just on top of the sad, you can see it. It's like a small seam. It's actually a small sheen but without dots. So it means shadda. And then on top of that shadda sign, there is a fatha sign. That's why it is a sa. You say sa, you do fatha. So we say Allahu Samad, like that. And as I said, the word as-samad is noun, and as we said, it means a sustainer of everything else except him, and he doesn't need anybody else or anyone to be sustained by. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. Lam is a harf. Harf, what we call harf, is like a proposition. It's not noun, it's not verb. Yalid is a verb, and it is a present verb. Why it is present verb? Because it has lam before it. Again, that's also have been explained in the previous videos, so I'm just giving you indication to go there. Where yalid as well, also yalid, it starts with ayam, yeah. So that's another sign, but be careful of this indication or sign, whether this is a verb or not, because sometimes there will be a noun that starts with a ya, it's just a part of it, like yasin, for example, if we use it as a noun or a name to someone. Okay, so yalid is a verb, as we said, and it means giving offspring. Okay, generating. So if something that generates gives like you can get offspring of it, for example, or it generates something else. It's called that thing. That action is that thing being yalid, is giving offspring, or it is giving generating something else out of it. So that's called wilada, which is the noun, the masdar of that action. All right, and basically the ayah is saying lam yalid. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, lam is for negating. Perhaps we forgot to say that. So lam is a negating harf. We call harf like proposition in Arabic called harf, and it is used to negate. So lam yalid, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has never had offspring. It did not, that verb of giving offspring or generating something else is inapplicable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Denied. Lam yalid. Wa lam yulad. Also, he was not born. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is nothing generated him or give like birth to him. Hasha lillah. All that is denied to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and negated. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. Walam again. Wow is just like and. Lam is negating. Lam. Negating a verb. Yakun. Yakun is the present verb of kana. Okay? So basically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there is this ayah here says, and there is nothing that is comparable to him. So yakun is a verb that means exist. So lam yakun, there is nothing exist. It refers to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Walam yakun lahu. Lahu means for him or to him. Lahu. Kufuwan, comparable, something that is comparable. To ahad, never. Like there is nothing, absolutely nobody that is comparable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So anything that comes to your mind, it doesn't compare to Allah. There is nothing like him. Anything that comes to your mind, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not like that. Now moving on to the next surah, Surah al-Falaq. Al-Falaq means the day break. Al-Falaq, the day break, when like the day starting of the day. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and also start with Qul. We've been through that. So Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq. Say, O Prophet, I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak. Alright, so قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. قُلْ أَعُوذُ. أَعُوذُ means I seek refuge. أعوذ is a verb, present form. أعوذ. بِرَبِّ. The B, this is the ba. The ba has a lot of meanings in Arabic. It's again a harf, which is a proposition. And it is added here to a noun. And it is a noun because there is a ba before it. And also it is a noun because it has kasra. Bi-rabbi. It has kasra. That's a sign of this word is noun. Rabbi means the Lord of. Al-Falaq, which is the daybreak, again, it has alif wa lam and kasra, so that's basically a noun. Min sharri ma khalaq. Min sharri ma khalaq. Min, the proposition from, means from. Sharri, meaning evil of something. Shar. Shar is a word, Arabic word for evil. And it's a noun. How do we know it's a noun? Because there is a kasra under it. Sharri. Ma. Ma refers to those who. So sharri ma is a proposition, refers to something. So min sharri ma khalaq. Sometimes it comes as negating. It depends on the context. So here, this ma is ma mawsula, what we call mawsula, which basically refers to something else, which here is khalaq. Min sharri ma khalaq. Alladhi khalaq. Okay? Min sharri ma khalaq. Khalaq is a verb. It's a past verb for created. So a'udhu as a start. So basically it's continuation of my seeking refuge to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I seek refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created the daybreak, who made the daybreak. Min sharri ma khalaq, from the evil that any evil that he have created, anything that he has created, and that thing that has been created may cause any sort of evil or bad things whatsoever. So it's basically like a blanket refuge or seeking of refuge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from any harm. The next ayah, وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبْ. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبْ. Again, wa here means and, min, from, sharri, the evil of, غاسق. The غاسق means, well, first it's a noun because it has kasra, double kasra, which is a tanween. That's basically mean it's a noun also. And غاسق is what we call ism fa'il, like because it rhymes with fa'il. So fa'il is a certain form in Arabic that form, and it refers to when somebody does that action, okay. It is not the subject in the grammar, but it's basically it's like a characteristic or attribute that we put or refer to somebody who did that action. Like darib means the person who did the darb, the hitting. So darib, hitter, the person who did the hitting, darib. And I could put it in a sentence where it doesn't mean it's not the subject of the verb. So distinguish between that form of the verb and the subject. I could say رأيت الضارب or ضارب الجرس. So ضارب here means the person who do the darb, the hitting of the garas, the ring or the bell. رأيت, I saw him. So in this sentence, he is basically the object. I saw him, so he is the object, not the subject. But the form used is used to refer that he does that. It's something that he is famous of doing it, or I saw him before doing it, or something like that, okay? So غاسق in here, anyway, getting back to the word غاسق. غاسق is the night, or it refers to a night that goes too dark, so, which is waqaba, so the night when it becomes too dark. إذا means here when. So basically the night when it grows or gets to be very, very dark and so on. The ayah number 4, وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. Again, wa means and, min, exactly right, you got it now, from. Sharri, again, sharri means evil, evil of, because it's linked to the next word, sharri and naffathati. It's from the word nafatha, or from the verb nafatha. Nafatha means blow, like that. So that's basically the action of making nafth, like blowing. And naffathat, this is a plural of those who does that action of nafth, of blowing, and it refers to witches that cast or cast spells by blowing onto nuts. So that was a form of magic and sihr that's known at the time, and it's basically those kind of witches. They do their magic and their bad magic, their evil, by doing spells, casting spells by blowing into knots and stuff like that. Al-uqad, knots. Al-uqad mean the knots. Okay, so the next ayah, وَمِن شَرِّ, again, وَمِن شَرِّ, you know that now. حَاسِدٍ, did you notice anything? حاسد, yes, exactly, it's like غاسق, same rhyme, same form, what we call a فاعل form, the noun of the فاعل, اسم الفاعل, حاسد. So a person who does hasad, who does envy, like hasad is envy, hasid is a person who envy, and that's something of the like beauty of the eloquency of the Arabic language is you get the verb itself and then you add letters to it before, after you change how it looks, and it gives another meaning. That's why the Arabic language has like so many words. I think somebody who's counted or like linguistics counted it over 9 million words or something like that, and even others say more and more, and it is one of the, or perhaps it is the most known language now that had such meanings or such big pool of words. So hasid is envier, the person who envy. إذا when. إذا, like إذا here, is when. حسد is a past verb which means envy. So basically the ayah says, all these ayahs refer to basically أعوذ. So I seek refuge from and from and from and from. And here it says from the envier, the evil of somebody who envy, the envier, when he does his action of envy. Okay, so moving on to Surah Al-Nas, and the word Al-Nas means humankind. So it starts with ayah number 1, says قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Say, to the Prophet again, say, أعوذ, I seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the Rabb, Lord of humankind. Lord of humankind. Rabb al-Nas. Malik al-Nas. Maliki al-Nas. Malik is the master of. Malik, the king, the master. Maliki, so it is a noun because it has a kasra. Al-Nas. And remember what we said with Allahu Samad when we were talking about Surat-ul-Ikhlas. Allahu Samad, remember that when we see the lamb without anything on top of it, we skip it. So we go directly to the noon here. Malikin. What about the alif, the hamza? Again, it's hamza wasl, which means in continuation, it drops. You don't pronounce it in continuation. If I continue my recitation, so I say Malikin Nas. Okay, and Nas, we said humankind. I think it's straightforward. The next ayah, Ilahin Nas. Ilahin Nas. All right, so Ilah is the God of humankind. So Ilahin Nas, the God of humankind. Min sharril waswasil khannas. Min, from, sharri, evil, of, al-waswas. Now, look at the al-waswas, the lam. It has a small sign. Look at the what you have indication of. We have a sukoon on top of the lam, an indication of sukoon. So this means we pronounce the lam. That's why we read it min sharril waswas. It is not like An-Nas here or Samad in previously, or actually we didn't, perhaps in Surat-ul-Falaq there were some of those like An-Nafathat, but we didn't stop there. But here you can see al-waswas. You don't say al-waswas min sharrif waswas. You don't say that. You can't. You have to have lam here to stop and basically rest. Min sharril waswasi, like that. Okay, al-waswas, whisper, like a shaitan. What does he do? He does waswasa. He's basically whisper to us. He does that. He does waswasa to humankind. يبقى من شر الوسواس al-khannas. Al-khannas means lurking. So he lurks. He's hidden, and he's just waiting for a good moment when you are weak to come and basically do waswasa to you and so on. So basically you seek refuge from in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from al-waswas al-khannas. الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس. الذي, it means who. يوسوس, whispers. Again, like al-waswas, from whisper, the whisperer. يوسوس, the verb of waswasa. So he is يوسوس, whispers. في صدور الناس. في means in or on or into or onto, like depends on the context. Here it's into. في صدوري. صدور, the chest. But here there's a sadr, right? But the sadr contains the heart. So it refers to the heart, or like sadra. Everything that is in your sadr or your chest, but not just externally, and also internally. That's called sadr. صدور الناس, humankind, as I said. And the last ayah, من الجنة والناس. Min, from, الجنة, which not Jannah, by the way, Jinnah, because the Jim is with kasra. Min al-jinnati. And also notice that we pronounce the lam here because it has something on top of it. So min al-jinnati, which is al-jinn, basically, wan-nas, humankind. I hope that was clear and helped you a little bit to understanding the words, and we'll be able to determine whether a word is verb or a noun or something like that, and that will open you the door for you to have a better understanding of the Quran that you recite. So I hope that helps you when you pray, inshallah, you understand what you read. If you have any question or any comment or anything like that, please feel free to put it down below in the comment section. And I'll see you, inshallah, next video.